Good afternoon, this is Terry from the Frugal Connection. I want to welcome you to my kitchen today. It's a cold, snowy day here in Western New York, and I'm going to be making some black bean nachos for dinner, and I want to invite you along with me as we make these. Okay friends, what we have here is we have 1 Spanish onion. I have some different colored peppers. I have 2 jalapenos. I have some garlic. And I'm just going to start by getting these chopped up. Now you're just going to give all these a really good dice. All right, now I'm going to move on to my peppers. I'm just going to take the tops off of these. If you have large bell peppers, colorful ones, you can use those instead. I just happen to have a bag of mini peppers that I use in salads, and so I'm just going with that for this. You can basically use any kind of pepper you want. Green peppers would work well with this. All right, I just want to take out these seeds. And I'm going to give them a good wash. I find the easiest thing is to prep all your vegetables ahead of time, and then we'll move over to the stove top and I will cook them there. All right, I like garlic, so I am going to use about 3 cloves of this in this recipe. All right, so I'm just going to mince the garlic. And now what I'm going to do with my jalapeno, because these are going to just be added later, I'm not going to cook the jalapenos. I'm just going to give them a very fine slice so that I end up with these little rounds like this. And these jalapenos have not been too super hot. I know it depends on your jalapeno. So I'm not going to worry about taking the seeds out of these. If they were really hot, I would remove the seeds. All right, that's it. And we're going to move over to the stove and move on to the next part. Okay, friends, I do not use oil in my cooking, so I just turn my burner on to medium-low. You want to start this on a very low heat. And what I use is that if this starts to stick, I will use a little bit of water to loosen it up. But if you start out low enough and you use a good nonstick pan, you shouldn't need to use a lot of water. All right, so to this pan, I'm adding my peppers and my onions. And I added the red and yellow and orange peppers. I'm not adding my jalapenos to this. Those are gonna be on top of the nachos when the nachos are ready. Okay. Now I am going to add about a little pinch of salt because I want to just help draw out some of that moisture in the vegetables. And I'm going to let that start doing its thing. And I will stir it every so often. In a couple of minutes we'll see the moisture start to happen as the moisture comes out of the vegetables. So you're basically sauteing the vegetables the same way you would if you had oil. It's just that we're an oil-free kitchen as much as I can be, and I don't I'm not adding in 120 calories plus, depending how much I put in the pan, of oil. You can also see some of that moisture coming off the onions, and that's what we want. Okay, friends, you can see it's getting nice and soft. It did start to stick a little bit, so I turned the heat down a bit and I added probably 2 tablespoons of water. And this has been going for about 5 minutes. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add in my minced garlic. And I'm gonna let that go for another couple minutes. Okay, the garlic has been going for a couple minutes. The smell is amazing. I'm gonna open up my jar of diced tomatoes and I'm just gonna add that right in. These are tomatoes I diced I canned this summer. I diced them and canned them. So they have no added salt. And I don't typically add salt to my canned tomatoes, because then I can control how much I actually want to put into my dish. All right, I'm gonna add the equivalent now of 2 cans of black beans. These are the black beans that they were dried beans that I cooked and froze, and they were frozen in my freezer, so they're not totally thawed out, but that's okay because they'll thaw out as they cook. I'm going to just turn up the heat in my pan a little bit, and I'm going to let these go until these beans are totally unfrozen and added in. But if you don't have frozen black beans, that's not a problem. Just grab 2 cans of black beans. You're going to drain them and then give them a good rinse, because generally the beans that you purchase in cans are full of salt. Mine are not, which is why I'm not worrying about it. Okay, friends, as you can see, it's bubbly. It looks a little mushy, and that's only because my beans were frozen. And so as I was stirring them, they disintegrated a little bit, but it's okay. It'll still taste good. And then I'm gonna add in 1 can of corn. I don't generally buy corn in a can. I can my own, or I use frozen corn. But we happen to have 1 can of corn niblets at home. And so I'm gonna use that. Now I'm gonna add in some spices. Now what I'm gonna add to this is I'm going to add in a teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm gonna add in a teaspoon of chili powder, black pepper. I'm gonna do about a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of cumin, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground oregano. All right, let me mix this up. Oh, it smells amazing. Okay, friends, welcome back. The next part we're gonna move on to is making our nachos. Now, I found in the store white corn tortillas that have no added oil or salt in them, which was amazing because usually you can't find that in the store at all, especially if you're purchasing flour tortillas. But I did find the corn ones, and I thought this was perfect for what I needed it for. All I need is an air fryer for this because I don't use any added oils in my cooking. And I'm gonna set the air fryer for 300 degrees. Okay, and I'm gonna remove the basket. And now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut these into wedges, about the size that you would, like regular tortilla chips would be. So, all right. Okay, And then because these are going to be our base for our beans, our bean mixture, I'm not going to worry about adding any added spices to these at all. And also because they have no oil in them, it's not going to stick very well anyway, so we're not going to have to worry about that. So I'm going to pop these into the air fryer. I am going to do a whole bunch of them because my family's going to want to eat these. And I'm going to cook them at 300 degrees for about 6 to 7 minutes. Halfway through that time, I will check on them. I will give them a stir, you know, flip them over if I need to. And when they're done, I will meet you back here and we will assemble the nachos. Okay, friends, my tortilla chips are finished. They are nice and crispy. Let me give you an example. Isn't that great? Best present ever was my air fryer that I got for Christmas because I love crunchy things, but because I'm not eating oil, I don't want the fat that's in them. Okay, we're going to assemble our nachos now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a few here because I'm not going to eat a lot. I'm eating about the equivalent of 2 corn tortillas. So there you go. And now what I'm going to add to the top of this is my black bean mixture. All right, that's good enough. I'm going to add a few jalapenos to the top. If you don't like jalapenos, you can leave them off. The nice thing about these nachos is that you can add anything you want to it. You can add avocado, you can add diced fresh tomatoes. I just don't happen to have any in the house at the moment. I'm also going to add some Spanish olives to the top. Don't like olives, leave them off. You can add black olives if you have those. I am going to add about a tablespoon of nutritional yeast because I want that cheesy flavor, even though I'm not, and this is plant-based whole food, so I'm not eating dairy. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of cilantro to the top, and there you have it. Plant-based vegan nachos. You can enjoy them anytime, any meal. They're perfect. And I am going to be serving this up to my family tonight. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, you can give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe. I will post the recipe link down below in the description of this video, along with the link to my website, which is thefrugalconnection.com. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in the next video.